What's up, everyone? Welcome. How we doing? Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. I always have to think about the day because I forget. How we doing, guys? Welcome. Nice to see you guys. Nice to meet you for the new ones. I've always got my tea. So, what's happening? Oh, hello. Yadira. Cool name. I love that name. Yadira. I hope I'm saying it correctly. Welcome. Well, you're new here. Fantastic. So exciting, you guys. I'm just going to wait for a few more people. Hey, Loney. Jack is back. Absolutely. Oh, so good, guys. How exciting. I hope you're all doing well. Happy full moon. We just had a full moon happen. I'm just getting myself situated. So I was actually sick. I haven't been sick in probably over 2.5 years, almost 3 years. I was sick for 2 days. I had fever and I recovered super quickly. And then, hey, Aline. My husband, on the other hand, he's still sick. He's the one who gave it to me. The only other time I ever gotten sick was for him again. Yeah. So, but it's so amazing to just like recover so fast. And the poor thing, he is still struggling and still going to work and everything. But he's such a baby. I think most men are just babies when they get sick. um, so yeah, I feel like personally, I mean, I don't know if it does help or not, but I always feel like the meditation, the practices, all that sort of stuff, because I'm like usually pretty healthy. But again, you never know. But it's been nice. It's been nice to recover fast. So I went to the gym today. I was back to my good old self. So it was very nice to have that. But the full moon, bringing up stuff, who knows what it's bringing up. So I hope you're all doing well and healthy. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Hi, guys. Welcome. I see a few new faces coming in. Welcome, welcome, guys. Jamie! Oh, my goodness. How we doing, guys? Oh, well. So, welcome, guys. So, for those of you who are new, essentially how it works is that I'm going to start off with a group reading so everybody gets something. Essentially, it's like an energetic reading for everybody. See, my throat's going. And then I will take one-on-ones. So if somebody, this is of course not expected, but if somebody gives a donation, essentially you lock your position in and you get a longer reading. If not, no problem. I will try to get through everybody who has a question. Oftentimes as well, if I'm giving a reading to somebody else, just so you know that reading will probably resonate with you or somebody else's reading will. Oftentimes there's a reason why you're here. Penny, new here. Bindi, good to see you. Oh my goodness. So good to meet you guys. So yeah, so that's essentially how it works. So I try to give something to everybody. Sometimes these lives do go for a very long time, depending on how many donations I get. Sometimes too. Eileen, Ellen. Sorry, I can't read. Apparently, I'm like the writing is so small. You're new here too. Welcome, welcome. So essentially that's how it works. Of course, nothing is expected, but I'm just letting you know. So having said all that, I also will take questions about spirituality, anything at all. If you guys have any questions, even personal questions, I'm very open. For those who have been following me for a while, they know I'm very open about stuff just because it can be relatable or the stuff that I've had to overcome. So always open here. If I feel like something's not within my boundaries, I will very easily tell you that. You will know that pretty quickly about me. All right, guys. So let's begin. I might still have a little bit of throat stuff going on, but that's okay. So I have about, there we go. So I just want to take a moment to connect with you all. If you are looking for some kind of answer right now, some direction for what's going on, for anything that's happening right now, feel free essentially to channel that energy to me through your spiritual team, whatever you feel right. So just close your eyes. Okay. So let's see what comes up. These cards want to come out today. And so, yeah, guys. So I do know some stuff is going around. So be healthy. Take care of yourself. I also feel like sometimes, like, also like the fear of getting sick and all that sort of stuff sometimes can like make things worse. I'm not usually afraid. Hey CG, good to see you. I don't know. That's just me though. I could be Delulu. I'm okay with being Delulu. But again, I don't get sick very often, and like I said, I tend to recover very fast. But then again, you can preach it and then you can get like sick and just, you know, bad things happen after that. You're like, maybe I should just keep my mouth shut. But it was kind of nice to recover very quickly. Although it was weird because I was like, I hadn't been sick for so long that like I was in and out all day because I guess my body was fighting it. And I totally forgot that I had to go and teach a class that night. So of course my friend is calling me and she's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I totally forgot." And she was like, "I thought you died or something," because she knows I'm never like late for anything. I never forget anything. I mean, I forget things, but never late for a class or anything like that. I'm always like half an hour early. And she was like, "I thought you died or something." I was like, "I'm so sorry, dude. I totally like I forgot what day it was. I forgot where I was." So anyway, she was like, "It's all good. You know, it worked out fine." I'm coming off a cold or at the tail end of it. So funny. I hopped in right when you said there was stuff going around. Yes, so there you go. Yep, yep, yep. Especially if you have kids as well. I feel like parents always unfortunately get sick because the kids get sick. So it's kind of hard not to at that point. So I feel very blessed because my animals can only give me really mites, which is what I've been getting from them. Not the worst thing. So I'm getting the energies, guys. Give me 1 second. For those of you who know how I do my readings, I let the cards fall out. I don't force the cards. I like it that way. I feel like it's a little bit more natural. Okay. Okay. This is what I've been feeling lately, actually. Hey, Nakisha, good to see you again, girl. All right, guys. So the first card that came up is unfulfilled expectations. I can honestly say this is something that I've been personally feeling. I hope this is something that you guys, well, I don't hope that this is something you've been feeling. It's basically these kind of things come up because it's ready. It's time for a change. It's time to move on. It's time to do something about it. Some of you have been sick in bed, right? So that's the other thing that came up. But it's also like maybe just feeling off, maybe feeling unwell, maybe feeling depressed, maybe feeling hopeless. A lot of mental stuff as well. There's a lot of like negative mental chatter going on. And then recharge your hopes, pause, and observation. Okay, so this is making a lot of sense personally as well. So I hope this is reflecting to you as well. So the unfulfilled expectation and this one, essentially what I'm getting here is that certain things are coming to the surface for a lot of us where, you know, for me, I've gotten to a certain level now and I want to get somewhere else. And I'm looking back at things that didn't work. I'm looking at things that I'm like, why isn't this working? Why is it so hard to get to this? And why was it so easy to get there once upon a time? And now it's just not happening. Like, what is going on? You know, you can use all the law of attraction techniques and all that sort of stuff and it's still not working out, or maybe you think you're putting the energy into it, but really are you? Here's the thing that I'm really asking myself as well. But the point of this essentially is like a lot of the things that aren't working out, the things that you may not feel fulfilled, maybe by this time in your life, you thought that you would be somewhere else. Or maybe at the time in this life, you thought you would be in a relationship or married or with kids or having $1 million, living in a mansion, with a pirate ship outside. That's been my dream. So, there's all these things that we had hoped for, and unfortunately, they haven't fulfilled. They may be small, they may be large in scale, whatever it is, but they're essentially this like something is like this frustration, this like hopelessness again, this feeling of like, where the fuck is it? I still want it. I don't know how to get there. What am I going to do? So what is coming up essentially, it's a couple of things. So for a lot of you, it's about recharging your hope. So for some of you, it's like you're getting at a crossroad, meaning you got to make a decision, right? Either you change the method that you're doing things, the techniques, the practices, or you change your vision. So if something isn't working, especially like, this is actually something that I'm taking from some other teacher. He said, if you had this vision for 15, 20 years, and by the 15 or 20 year, nothing's happened. At some point, you got to make a decision. I got to change the technique, or I literally have to like change vision, because by 15, 20 years, it hasn't happened. And again, I don't feel like it cannot still happen, but maybe sometimes holding on to something that hasn't happened is causing a lot more pain and a lot more suffering. And then from there, it's so difficult to manifest, to create, to actually bring about what you want, because you're creating from a place of a lower frequency, from a negative headspace, as opposed to from when you started, where you were like hopeful and you were like excited and everything was just yay. Very different energies, right? You're tainted by the point that you are after 15 years. And for me, especially, like if I look at my acting career, which is doing fine, but if I looked at the history, there were so many events that happened looking back that of course now I would handle them so differently, but I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. And I was thinking about it and I was like, oh shit, I've got actually some traumas that are left behind that are affecting my present moment. So I got to do some healing here, right? But it could be anything. It could be a business, it could be a music career, it could be an art career, it could be anything at all. So a couple of things that I've been doing lately as well, which I'm going to really, really like encourage you guys to look into, is rage ritual. I don't know if you've looked into rage rituals, but I highly recommend you look into that. There's a woman called Mami Unami who shows you exactly how to do one. So you can do one with her on YouTube. I did one with her. I loved it. It helped me a lot. And I'm going to start. And then from there, I had the vision to make meditations, rage ritual meditations. So it'll be on my Insight Timer. And you can use it for anything really, for like financial stuff, for like, and essentially what you're doing is you're confronting the shadow aspects, people, places, or things that you have anger and rage and frustration and resentment towards, and you essentially allow all of that negative emotion that's within you to be raged out. So in that case, for me, it looked like screaming and yelling and punching the pillow and going absolute berserk. But the physical and emotional release that comes out of that is enormous. And if you understand anything about trauma, where does trauma live? It lives in the body. So when you release it physically and you give yourself the cry and you feel all of the violence and the revenge and all the negative things, right, that we're like not allowed to do because we're spiritual and we're above that. It's like, well, dude, I'm fucking human, man. Like I'm angry. I'm pissed off. Like I got hurt. So it's okay, and it's the safest way to do it. The rage room would be good as well. And I did a meditation, which interesting enough, when I decided to do that in my class, it was the biggest class I ever had. I taught at the Mindery. It was full. Somehow the right people needed that, and the class, there was no more seats left. There was about 30 to 40 people in that class. I've never had a fuller class than that. So I was like, all right, there's something here, because if this is drawn in that amount of people, something's here. And people loved it. And it was all a group of people from rehab, ironically, that showed up for the class, and clearly they needed it. So again, guys, this is what I'm saying here is like, again, we got to think about it, right? So I'm even looking this, what is it again? Can you type it in, please? So rage ritual. I'm going to write it. Mia Magic also does it, but she charges for it. So don't do it. I mean, I haven't seen her do it. And I'm going to pay Mami Unami is very dark. But I highly recommend. So I put Mami Unami so you can follow her YouTube video on it. So you can go literally through it with her. I used it for my sexual abuse history stuff, because I realized there was still some stuff that was coming up recently from the sexual abuse. So I confronted like my abuser in this one, and I allowed some of those emotions out. So it's very emotional. But I like the way she structured her rage ritual, because it brought you through an arc, and then there was the release and the healing at the end, because you always want to end up at the healing. Like once you get to the release of the emotions, you don't want to just sit there and go, okay, now I'm pissed off and I've got all this rage. You wanna have that completion. Of course. Yeah, of course, Kelly. We all need it, trust me. But I also then created one on my Insight Timer, so you can find it there, and it's going to be a financial rage ritual. So for me, there's rage against money, the block of money, the block of like society making it difficult for so many of us. The fact that we weren't educated in money and taxes and all that sort of stuff. Like I still don't understand taxes, yo. Like I'm having a hard time with that one. So I have to pay somebody to do it. And then that guy's frustrating because he doesn't, there's a whole thing. So, we have all these emotions that it's okay to allow ourselves to feel it. And so rage ritual is just a powerful way, and it's a shifting type of ritual, essentially allowing you to clear out this heaviness so that you can make some changes. Because as long as the past owns you, it's so hard to make changes, because it's almost like you're still stuck and you're just repeating the same thing over and over again because of this thing from your past. You and me too on the taxes, CG. I know because I do so many jobs. So it's very confusing for most tax agents because I'm an actor. I have my spiritual business. Before I had other side gigs, I was doing like 5 or 6 different jobs all the time. Like I'm always booking different things here and there. So it gets very confusing. I have my animal rescue. So it's a lot for them, and most people just have one job. I don't do that. I'm a shapeshifter here. I do many things. So it gets confusing. Anyway, so pause and observation. So essentially, why is all of this coming up? So I love this card because it always looks like, there's all of these blocks, there's all of these things that make you feel like you're caged in, like you have no way out. But the truth of the matter is, um, but that's why you pay people to do it for you, CG. Yeah, that's why you pay a tax agent to do it. But my tax agent every year, he just keeps bumping up the price to the point where I'm like, I'm trying to find somebody else. I'm putting it out there. I'm like, I really want somebody who's great who doesn't charge me out of, like, keeps adding $100 and $200 every year. I'm like, bruh, like, now you're just ripping me off. So, we're at a point now where we got to start breaking free from these cycles, guys. We're at a point now because I'm really starting to focus on my journey as what I'm doing as starting to get results. It's nice to do the healing. It's nice to feel good after something, right? It's nice to have a rage ritual. I feel so much better. But then what? Right? I want results. I want to be able to say I've done the work, and there's nothing more powerful than seeing my life change. That's what I'm into. Okay, so I'm none of this feel good, happy stuff, because this is where the toxic spirituality stuff comes in. It's like, yeah, you feel great for a moment, but nothing changes. To me, it's like, what's the point? And I see this in the spiritual community a lot, and that's fine. If that's for you, a lot of people like that. A lot of people just want to feel good and don't want the change because it takes work. Like, you do you, boo. That's for you. Go for it. I'm not about that. I love change. I love to transform. I love seeing my life get better. I've seen my life get better, but it's always a problem solving. It's always a next thing. It's always like, all right, you've done this for this long. This works, but now you've gotten to the peak of it. Now you got to up your game, you know? So I'm at that point. I think that this is what's happening right now. If some of you are feeling this frustration or this thing, and this is what I'm feeling for myself, the downloads that I've been getting is like, girl, it's time. It's time to make that shift. And what does that require of you? So even just putting the intention out there and being aware of what the block is, oftentimes the answers will come to you. Once the answer comes to you, you got to do the work. So one of the things that I've been receiving for myself, it's like, because I do so many things at the same time, I'm not always very laser focused on one thing. Now, I get things done. If I start something, I finish it. Always. But like, once I finish one thing, I move on to the next. And I'm not focusing on like, how can I put all of this together in a direction that's going to something? So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that, but I know that understanding the basic of it, next thing I just got to listen and trust that now the universe is going to bring me, and it's bringing me new teachers like Mam Yunami. I like her a lot. She's very different. I like different. I also like dark. I like intense teachers who have done. Hi, babies. I got the guinea pigs running around. Don't chew that. Sorry. I just put a box there that I just bought, and I realized that guinea pigs might be chewing it. I'm like, don't. I bought it. It's nice. Can't have nice things when you have a bunch of rodents around you. So, I'm okay with the shadow because humans are shadow and light. Does that mean I want to practice shadow stuff? No. I'm not interested in the dark arts, but I'm not afraid of them either, because that fear essentially is what they feed on. If you know anything about demonic energy and lower entities, that's what they feed on. So what better way to be afraid, than, so for me, it's like, anyway, I'm going to go off the rails. You guys know that I can go on a tangent. So the point is, guys, what's happening right now is that whatever's coming up to the surface, it's time to make those decisions. It's either time to completely change your vision, give up whatever you're doing and start something afresh and go, okay, this is causing me too much pain, too much suffering. I'm too tainted. You might be able to go back to it, by the way, too. It's just sometimes it requires you to let it go. And then over the year or two, you're like, you know what? I'm ready to revisit this now that I'm not so resentful or angry or hurt. Or it's like, I gotta change my plan because whatever I'm doing obviously isn't working. I'm not, for me, for instance, I haven't been getting the agents that I want. Every single acting gig that I've been getting myself. I've been supporting myself. I'm paying them. This is how bad the industry is, guys. I have to give them 10% of every job that I book, even if I book the job myself. And I have not gotten one job out of any one of my agents or managers who are supposed to be like high up there. And all I've been hearing is excuses, right? So at some point, you know, there's a fear here because this is my old self, which is like, no, but I must keep on to the agent because they can get me in the door. Where? After a year, after 2 years? So you got to at some point take that risk and go, I got to change my plan. This is not working out. So my vision is I want to get to the top 10 of agents. These ones are about, I think, about the top 500. Okay, which is not bad, by the way. So what are you going to do about it? You got to make a change. Okay, so you got to change your plan. I don't know how I'm going to approach it or whatever, but the point is you got to make a plan. Whether it's affirmations, whether it's like vision boards, whether it's, I don't know what it is, daily practices, affirmations in the mirror, dancing underneath the moon naked, whatever works for you. The point is just do it, you know. Hey, Catherine. I'm not an agent, but I'll ref you, Nikisha. Honestly, my husband has pretty much become my agent, and he's the best agent I've ever had. I book just this week. I have I have 3 jobs booked. This next 2 weeks, 3. I tend to book 4 jobs a month, which is unheard of. Okay, like it's very hard to get anything in general, unless of course you're like on a TV show or something. So, you know, something's off. But I need to upgrade, you know what I mean? Anyway, whatever. It's not about my acting career here. So, all right, guys. So now I'm going to start taking questions. Yeah, it's amazing, but they don't, like, they pay, but they're not jobs that are like, you know, like when I did 3 Women for Showtime, I still get residual checks from that one. Okay, so I just got like a nice little check recently, which, you know, out of nowhere, because that's what residuals do. And I was like, oh, see, this is why you want to do the big jobs. But I can't get in the door for the big jobs. I need an agent and a manager to do that. The other jobs that I'm getting is like, they're like open promotions. So anyway, but the point is, it's still great. I'm still grateful. But let's step it up. And this is for you too. Oh, thank you, Catherine. I look more radiant. I'll take it. I just tried a new moisturizer. TikTok shop did it. So it's gloomy. All right, guys. So I'm ready to take questions now. So if anybody has a question, feel free. Now it's the time. I'm just checking something. Okay. So if anybody wants a reading, well, it's working. Thank you. It looked good. I was like, you know what? I was looking for a new moisturizer. What I always end up talking about like products here. Last time we ended up talking about hair growth, which was a funny one. And somebody just came in and she's like, I thought this was a reading. And I'm like, I'm sorry. We were at the end of our reading. We're just like, somebody asked about hair growth. So that's why we're here. So if anybody has a question, feel free to ask a question in the chat. If anybody wants a reading or if you just have a question. Okay, Bindi, do I need to change my focus? Great question. You got your reading as soon as you popped on, Nikisha. Sometimes that happens, you know what I mean? It's just like, you just gotta show up and it's just like, there it is, you know? But that's why I tell you guys, sometimes if I'm not reading for like somebody else or if I'm group reading, you'll get the answer. Okay, so Bindi, I got you first. Just give me 1 second. I'm just channeling your energy. Okay. I hope you guys can hear the guinea pigs. They're so funny. It's like cleaning with those guys around. They get into everything. It's like if I have a box or something, next thing you turn around, they're inside the box. All right, do I need to change my focus? Let's see. Oh, gosh. It's funny because this is the same exact cards that I got for somebody else's reading. I don't know if it was your reading, but yes. The answer is pretty much yes. So there is a better course of action available to you. Working alone may not be the best answer. Review all details. Literally, this card is like you're going down this path, and the angel is saying, no, 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 no. You got to go down this road, mate. This is the way to go. And you see how one path is like light and one is dark. Okay, so this one causes more suffering, and this one is actually going to bring you relief. So yeah, there needs to be some kind of a change. You need to change the direction. You need to change your decisions. And changing course doesn't always mean completely change, but it does mean some kind of a change is required. The other card, by the way, they're all blue. Okay, they're all Michael, which is very interesting. So it will be better if you just make a decision. Over analyzing the problem, find a compromise. So what it is telling me is that you're too much in your head now, and essentially like you keep going back and forth. Like there's a part of you that knows that wants to go left, and there's another part of you, yeah, but like it's like me with this agent, right? It's like, yeah, but you know, you never know, you could get that chance. The other part of me is like, yeah, but bitch girl, you've been with this fucking guy for like a year and he hasn't gotten you anything good. By this point, do you not think that it's time to move on? No, but you know, I'm loyal and blah blah, you know, the back and forth, whatever that is for you, the back and forth. Okay, so essentially it's just saying, just make up your mind and just follow through with it. It's going to take a risk. It's always going to take a cause and effect. Whatever decision that you make is always going to take a cause and effect. Okay, but at the end of the day, this is the final card. A situation has ended and you are finally free. New opportunities for happiness will now follow. Put the past behind you. So whatever this thing is, Bindi, that is holding you back is from your past, essentially. It's something within your past that is still has weight over you, that still has power over you, that's still essentially making decisions for you. And I know personally, whenever I've made a choice to make a change, I've never really regretted it in general, you know, unless I've made it out of fear. It's something that, you know, if you make a knee-jerk reaction out of fear or out of anxiety or out of stress, those don't always go well. But if you've been sitting on this for a long time, if this is something you've been thinking and reminiscing for a while, and really the thing that's holding you back is the fear, then it probably should tell you, you know, it's time to move on. It's time for that change. You need to open up that new door. You need to make space for that new energy to come in. So make that decision and commit to that choice. And also, like, you will start seeing things moving forward. And again, guys, you got to remember, when you make a change, don't expect the universe to go, oh, here's a change and here's all the rewards. Doesn't work like that. Remember when I talked about the for those of you who are new, the 369, the triangle energy when it comes to manifesting. This is very, very crucial, and it makes a lot of sense. So we have the idea, right? You make the choice to leave, then there is essentially some level of sacrifice that is needed in order for a manifestation. So the sacrifice could be the making the choice of moving on or whatever, but the sacrifice of something has to happen in order for a manifestation to occur. And then finally, the trust. So even though things don't look like they're working out, even though things are slow, you just got to trust that you took the right steps and just surrender to the universe. That's why they always say, you know, oh, it happened when I just wasn't trying anymore. It's because they were like, I don't even care if it happens anymore. I'm just so committed to my choice. And so that's the last thing. That's the last key ingredient. Thank you, Spot On. It's about to move to purchasing a new home, being going on 12 months now. Ooh, amazing. Well, best of luck with that. Okay, so Reese, I'm would love a reading as trying to reinvent self. Reese, are you still here? Sometimes people pop in and out, so I just want to make sure you're still here. All right, cool. So I'll do your reading. So trying to reinvent yourself. I did get immediately drawn to these cards for some reason, so we're just going to go with these ones. Why do you have to fall on the ground? It's like a workout every time. Okay, 3 of them fell out together, so we're just going to go with that. So the first card that you got is energy work. If you want to reinvent yourself. Sorry, I'm reading what you guys are saying. Life can be electrifying because it's very, in its very essence, it is energy. Your body is remarkable energy field that will positively respond to loving treatments. Your hands and your heart are activated to give healing energy to your loved ones and clients. I don't know if that meant anything, but what I did get about was energy here. So, Reese, energy. So you want to reinvent yourself. Essentially, you have to become a new person, right? Which this essentially means you have to change your energy, more so your frequency. There's a difference, by the way, guys, between energy and frequency. We often think of them as the same. They're not. We often talk about good or bad energy, which in general it can be, but frequency is very neutral. Frequency, we can have lower frequency or higher frequency, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad frequency or good frequency. Frequency essentially is like, if I'm a wealthy, abundant person, I have a certain frequency that elevates it, that matches that. But I could have a bad energy as a wealthy person, or I could have a really good energy as a wealthy person. Okay. But my frequency is neutral. It doesn't care whether I'm good or bad. So just remember that one. So what are you trying to reinvent essentially? So Reese is like, who are you trying to become? What are you trying to activate? What are you trying to bring into your life? So let's just say you're trying to change a job, right? And you want to become, I don't know, a real estate agent. Like, what does a real estate agent think, do, and behave like, And if you're a waitress, very different energy, very different lifestyle, very different way of being. So essentially what I'm hearing here is that you got to start shifting your frequency to match the frequency of that version of you that you want to embody. That means you got to make some changes. When I became a spiritual teacher, it's like, okay, well, my frequency has to change because at first I was a student, and to become a teacher, it requires, commitment. It requires a level of sacrifice. It requires all certain things. And it requires also a level of cojones that I didn't have before, which now I do obviously have, but I still have moments where I'm just like, okay, I got to up my game. So certain things obviously will be easier for you guys than other things to learn. Certain things will be much easier for some of you guys to turn into and transform than other things. If you want to become, for instance, an athlete, and all you do all day is eat chips and sit and watch TV, clearly there's also like not just a frequency of energy and thought, but there's also like a physical change that needs to happen within that. So Reese, who do you want to become? See that vision of yourself, and what is it going to take for you to get there? You can start small, okay? But essentially you got to start physicalizing those things, whether it is even just saying affirmations, whether it is even affirmations. To me, it's a form of physicalizing because I'm saying it to myself. It's not just a thought for me, like I say them out loud or I write them down. The next thing is that I got is the ocean. But when I get the ocean, I don't know if you live near the ocean or something, could mean that. But whenever I get the ocean, what I'm hearing is detoxing as well, right? So when we want to transform our lives and we hold on to things that are part of our old version of ourselves, it's not going to help us at all. Example, when I was addicted to smoking, the beautiful Mary J., I was self-medicating 24/7. My whole crowd was smokers. So when I decided to become sober, obviously, if you know anything about like addiction, you can't hang around somebody who's smoking and think you can just be around them and not smoke. There is no way you can do that, especially at the beginning. Of course, now if I'm around somebody who's smoking, I'm like, good for you, I don't want it. But it's been years now. Sorry guys, I'm still gonna cough and stuff, so just be with me. So again, but this could be with money, this could be with gossip, this could be with anything, right? Again, if you want to become an athlete and you're hanging around somebody who's eating chips and watching Netflix all day, it's going to be very hard to go to the gym that day because of course all you want to do is do what you normally do. I'm just using metaphors here, of course, but the point is, what are you ready to heal, release, and let go of that isn't serving you anymore? One of the things that came for me, for instance, my social media addiction. Like because I am on social media a lot, I obviously watch a lot of social media as well. So it's a hard one. But what I heard today when I was at the gym, I was just like, bruh, like you get up in the morning and you were doing so well at one point where you were like reading a chapter or two, but then I go onto the internet because it's that like it's my moment where I don't use my brain, but it's not really something that is like helping my focus, right? Because then you can, before you know it, you can be scrolling for another 30 minutes and wasted a ton of freaking time. So I was like, girl, this is going to change. Like, this is something that has to change. This is something that I got to kill. It's going to be a painful, it's a sacrifice. Remember, even though it's just social media, it is a sacrifice because it's a pleasure that I have. I can still have that. I have to give it as a reward though. It cannot be something that I'm just leisurely having. It has to be something that I have to earn now. And so I'm looking at these things. I'm like, if I just take away certain things, my focus towards where I want to go, it's going to be better. And I'm embodying the version of me that I'm trying to become. You're not going to have somebody holding your hand to do this, by the way. You're going to have to make those decisions and you're going to have to follow through with them, and you have to keep yourself accountable unless you have an amazing person next to you who can do that for you. Oftentimes, though, it leads to fighting. So I wouldn't recommend it because we don't want to hear what somebody who, you know, my thing is with my husband, I keep him very accountable, but it pisses him off because he doesn't want to hear some of the things that I tell him. I'm like, all right, whatever, you know. But the other thing that I'm hearing also here is like it's play, inner child though I'm getting. So this is something to do with your inner child. I don't know if like the version of you that you're trying to become is like your inner child. Yes, I am doing individual readings right now. Um, or it's like there's parts of inner child that needs to be healed. This is something that I think only you know and you need to know for yourself. But as another thing that came up for me as well is like the motivation for me in my life is my inner child. Everything I do is to my motivation and my drive comes from helping her and healing her, because she suffered a lot, and so she's just brutally abused as a child. She's had a lot of violence happen to her, sexual and emotional and all sorts of stuff. So my thing now is to become that hero that she needed, that parent that wasn't capable of protecting her. So all this motivation and this healing and all this sort of stuff, for me, that's the drive. I don't know if that's related to you or anything like that, but I felt like that's the need to tell you that. So hopefully that made sense and helped you. Yes, Yadira, I'm just going, I seen some people at the beginning, I'm just going down the list, but I'll get to you unless there's somebody else. I just gave a reading to Reese. Kelly is next. Kelly, what if you do have a focus? I am just floundering here. Okay. What do you mean, Kelly? Can you be more specific? Ah, Violet 108. Hey, good to see you. She just came in at the bitch please moment. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Yadira. That is always the perfect timing, my friend. That is the only time you should show up. So I got Yadira that gave a donation, so she essentially just jumped the line, but I'm just quickly, what do you have to, what if you have a focus? What if you do not have a focus? Is that what you mean, Kelly? Well, you just make one up. I think a lot of the times, I think this is what you mean. And Yadira, I'm going to get your question in a second. You know, sometimes life is also just the choices that we make. And we just need to make a choice sometimes. You know, it's fun, you know, especially if you don't have so much weight on it. A lot of the times people don't want to make decisions because they don't want the responsibility of failing. But I feel like, you know, if you don't have something, then the mission is to discover what that is. And that means trying many different things and just figuring it out. And that means just making a decision and going with it and seeing what happens and just going on an adventure. You know, not taking yourself too seriously, but just sort of figuring out what that is. It's the one thing I do know about that is that you're definitely going to grow and you're definitely going to discover something about yourself, which is the most important thing. At the end of the day, nothing really matters. We're not going to bring anything back with us once we're dead. But what does matter is who we become. And from all the near-death experiences that I listen to, everybody talks about, the most important thing is like the love and the connections that we had with other people. So that's really what matters, you know. So Yadira, you gave a donation. So essentially, if you give a donation, you just lock in your position. And so she's basically going to get a little bit of a longer reading. So what is your question, my love? I'm just seeing what else you guys said. Okay, perfect. Yeah, right. I have a chronic illness and I need surgery on the neck soon, so I'm in limbo. Thank you. Oh man, yeah, when you have physical things that are in the way, it just makes it so much more challenging for sure, but it doesn't make it impossible. Have you guys ever heard of the documentary The Incredible Life of Evelyn? I would highly recommend watching that. It's heart-wrenching. By the way, you're going to cry throughout it, but it's heart-wrenching in a good way. It's very hopeful. Yadira, by the way, I'm just waiting for you to ask a question, my love, so type it in while I'm answering this question. He had, I believe it was, what's this? I think it's cerebral palsy. It's one of those basically like you're in a wheelchair, you don't have any motor skills. He couldn't talk by the end of it. He could not move physically. He was completely just bedridden. But one of the things he could do is move his fingers. The Incredible Life of Evelyn. I think it's on hopefully I'm spelling his name right. Um, anyway, long story short, he could only use his fingers. And so one of the things that he would play was War of Worldcraft. It's like you got to watch it. Just trust me, stick to the end of the documentary. You're gonna be like so grateful you watched it. I don't want to ruin it for you, but at the end of the day, and plus, you can't ruin it because it's such a gorgeous documentary. His parents basically thought that he did not have a life. His parents thought that he did not have any friends. His parents thought that he wasn't doing anything for anyone. And long story short, he lived in the virtual world. And even though he could only use his fingers, he literally helped so many people in the War of Worldcraft reality because people talk and they build relationships. He had girlfriends, he had relationships, and so many people showed up at his funeral because, of course, his body eventually gave up, but nobody knew he had the illness that he had. And they ended up in the World Warcraft. They actually put a tombstone dedicated to him because I'm getting goosebumps, by the way, because he had such a powerful impact. He even helped a mother and a son, and the son had autism, and he helped the mother and the son connect. So what I'm trying to say here as well is, like, I know that there are physical things, but trust me, there's always somebody out there who has it worse, who's done greater things. And that's what I always think. It's like anytime that I'm not taking away the pain and stuff, but look at the people who had issues and what did they do despite it and in spite of it. And that's what you should be looking for inspiration, not like, you are a victim in this situation. You've seen the tombstone? Yeah, right. Isn't it sweet? I know, because my friends play it and I was like, go find it. And then they found it. It's an incredible story, you guys. Like, I love documentaries, but this one just like, I was crying the whole way through. It was hilarious. So, really highly recommend because it's inspirational. It just reminds you, like, shit, I thought I had problems. There's somebody out there who has done so much more than I could ever think. And it just inspires you just to get up and do something. Okay, Yadira, I don't really have a specific question. Could it just be a general? Of course, yes. So let me just tune in. Let's see what wants to come up. But again, it's just like memories or traumas and things, it's like they can be emotionally debilitating. And I'm not taking away the pain because I know, like, I've had issues with my lower back and I know what it's like when it's like that painful, or when you're sick like I was the other day. It's like you can't do anything, although I still did work all morning. I'm like the person, I was like, I'm not letting this get in the way of, if I can do something, I will. However, at some point, yeah, I had to rest. I'm building actually an online course right now, two actually online courses. But I got up, I still spent the whole morning because I got up super early because I guess my body was sick. So I was like, get up and do stuff. And I managed to like write half of the course that morning, and then halfway through the day I felt sick and I wanted to write more, but I was like, no, my body needs to rest. So you got to know when you can push and when you cannot push, you know what I mean? So, but sometimes we don't push because we're just like emotionally we've given up, you know, and it's like you can't let that be the factor. You just cannot. Okay, so you got 8 of Ariel. So I don't know why. I feel like there's something to do with either study or reading or knowledge or books. Take a great pride in your excellent work. Practice makes perfect. Consider getting additional education or training, Yadira. So I don't know whether you've gotten inspiration, but again, when it says additional training, it doesn't have to be something that you pay for. There's so much information out there on the internet. There's so many free online courses. They're just, I mean, of course, if you want to pay for something or if you're studying, maybe it has to do with study. I'm not quite sure. But what they're saying is there is a need for expansion in knowledge, and there's a need to, like, you've gotten again to a certain level, and it could also mean spiritual, but I'm really feeling like it's a knowledge thing. You've gotten to a really good place, and that's why they're saying congratulations, excellent work, but now it's time to upgrade. Now it's time to take the next step, and that requires you to gather more information, to get a little bit more knowledge, so that you can upgrade. So if you've been feeling stuck or if things haven't been moving forward, it's because essentially of that. There's something that you need to absorb more of in order to know where to go next. Epiphany, joy through spiritual growth, be the light to others, and answers that come through meditation. Okay, so let me just go down as well, just in case. Well, as long as you're looking for that gift, Kelly, you're gonna find it. I promise you that, but you can't give up. That's the key. Just keep moving, and no expectation either. That's the hard part. So joy through spiritual growth. So I don't know what it is, Yadira, whether it is an actual study or whether it is like spiritual practices. You're trying to elevate spiritually in some kind of way. But thank you, Hannah. But essentially, what I'm hearing here is that whatever it is, it's like the practice, the study, the growth, and it's bringing you closer and closer towards what it is that you're seeking. It is a confirmation that it is taking you to where you need to go. It is like, I'm hearing, it's like, yes, this is the path. Yes, this is the way. Yes, this is the key, if you like. Now, release yourself from that which holds you back and need to detox unnecessary worry based on lack of self-confidence. So I feel like the lack of self-confidence is really the key here that I'm hearing. So there is, and when I see this card, especially, I always think about the chakras. So it's like each chakra represents a lesson and a gift, right? So what I'm hearing here, when it comes to confidence, there is a part of you that is, doesn't feel like either they're worthy, that they're capable. Who am I to say that I could do this? Who am I to think that I could even dare to be like this vision that I want to be, whatever it is, right? And the difference between people who succeed and people who don't is a lot of the times that people succeed, they dare to try. And it's okay. It's okay to have an ego. It's okay to desire things. It's okay to want bigger things, greater things for yourself. It's okay to want success. It's okay to want money. It's okay to want, just don't use that to hurt people. Very simple. But there is nothing wrong with wanting that. If you don't, some people are just meant to have success in this lifetime because it was part of their blueprint. And so they don't really necessarily like have to try that hard. But for some of us, we're meant to, but we're meant to fight for it, or we're meant to heal something to get there. So what I'm hearing here is that anything that is taking you in, it's blocking you, anything that's keeping you trapped from that very thing that you desire, you need to spend some time on healing that, because that is the very thing that essentially it's just the last step, or the little anchor that's slowing down the manifestation, slowing down the process. So again, but that requires honesty as well. It's like requires you to be honest with yourself and requires you to be honest with how it is for you. It's like, yeah, I am embarrassed to say that I want to make millions of dollars. I think that if I make a ton of money, and by the way, I'm creating a course on Insight Timer right now, which is all about wealth. Or partly because I'm doing it for myself, and of course, then I share it with everybody else. But part of the course is like, really, you got to look at the blocks. You got to look at the things that are in the way Yeah, I am jealous of my friend who didn't have to work. My husband's cousin, for instance, like she was born into an amazing family. She has her father who's been very supportive. She's a mother who doesn't have to really work. She has her parents and her family nearby. She's super close to everybody. She's never had to worry about money. It's like, and I had to sit there and be honest with myself and go, I'm fucking jealous. Like, I wish I had that, and it's okay. I love her. She's the nicest person. She deserves all of that. But after a while, I realized, I was like, holy crap, I'm jealous. Like, I want that. I wanted to grow up with a father who was always there. I wanted to grow up in like, having the mom and the dad always supporting me financially and teaching me all the things, and like not having to worry about money. And even though in my side, my father actually has money, I've never been a part of his life. It's like almost like, oh yeah, you're that thing over there. Good luck, best of luck, see you later. Well, I'm like, don't have to wash my clothes and have people kissing my ass, and which is, again, I'm not in the worst situation. So then I have to look at me and I go, there's people who are looking at me and thinking the same thing. But if you make that a negative thing, and if you don't admit it to yourself, use it as inspiration. Use it as something to inspire you, to teach you something, and not to become somebody's like, because if you're not aware of it, then you end up acting subconsciously and you end up saying things or doing things that really aren't in alignment with your higher self. But they can also stop you from feeling worthy of them. So if you see that guy with the Lamborghini, you're like, what a douche. That means that you're saying to yourself, well, if I have a Lamborghini, that means I'm a douche. Then you're not going to have a Lamborghini. And there's nothing wrong with having one. I mean, it's not my style, but the point is, if you feel worthy, it wouldn't bother you. It wouldn't bother you that somebody's riding off with a Lamborghini. Like, good for you, mate. High five. So that's what's basically coming up. Yes, those are the cards for Yadira. Excuse me, guys, still got the cough. So essentially, does that make sense, Yadira? Thank you so much. Yes, perfect. Awesome. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm just going to read. And then Hannah, I got you next. Yes, that is every day, and a struggle is how much to push through and when to rest, pull back. It's tiring. Yes, I have to tell myself that. It's coming. Don't give up. Yeah, and consistency. And again, Kelly, it's like really looking at what other people did. And again, it does require some level of sacrifice. It always requires, if you want to be extraordinary, you cannot do ordinary things. We have to remember that extraordinary people don't do ordinary things. And if you want to be a little bit more than the ordinary, then you have to do something a little bit outside of the ordinary. For instance, like I get up early, I do meditate, I do my affirmations, I work out hard, constantly growing. I get myself in situations where I make myself uncomfortable, but I don't want to be ordinary. And even what I'm doing isn't that extraordinary. Like, it's not like I'm jumping off buildings or whatever, but I could, So what is it? But I do know my mind, and it's like I'm not following the crowd and what everybody else is doing. In some ways, I know I am extraordinary. Okay, so, sorry, let me just disconnect. Okay, my question today is about career. There is an opportunity in front of me, and I already said yes to it. I just need some guidance around what to prioritize at this time in my life and whether or not this is a new opportunity is right for me. Okay. Just getting the deck. Like this one is the one that wanted to come up on most, but we'll see. Please don't fall into the ground. You can do all of this by staying on the desk. I don't know why I hate it. I'm like, it's so far away. It's just down there. What are you piggies doing? When you're quiet, I'm worried. What are you doing, piggy? Yeah. I can hear you now. What are you doing? You're so cute. Okie doke. Let's see. First and foremost, congratulations, Hannah. Just we always got to remember when we're offered an opportunity, it's a great sign. It means that we're attracting things in our lives, right? Now, sometimes we attract things we might not be grateful for it. It might not be what we expected or maybe necessarily what we wanted, but we always got to remember that as long as we're attracting, we're in a good place. So just a quick reminder about that. So wisdom and objectivity are important. Now, stay in your integrity. A situation that calls for open and honest communication. So I don't know what the opportunity is, but essentially it's like what I'm hearing is like you just got to stay within your boundaries and know what your boundaries are, Hannah. So stay strong within your boundaries and you'll know if this is the right thing for you or not. Communication, of course, is coming up as well. So say yes when you mean yes, say no when you mean no. If you see there's something that you don't like, don't be afraid to say what you feel. If you want to ask for a certain amount of money, I'm not quite sure if you already had the negotiations or whatever, or it was just came with the package. But the point is like, don't be afraid to stand within what you feel is right or wrong within this decision. A new emotional situation, message regarding a relationship or social invitation, great intuitive insights. So I don't know why I'm getting this one, but I'm just going to have to go with it. So I see sorry, I'm just reading what you guys are saying. So I remember, Hannah, you said as well that there was somebody interested in you as well. I don't know why this relationship is coming up. Maybe it's in the way of this situation, but I do feel like you're putting your back onto something or someone. It's almost like you're a little bit more focused on other things right now. So just understand that what I'm hearing is this, like, I don't know why I feel like shutting out something a little bit in a relationship. I feel like you're just very focused on moving forward, maybe in career or maybe in that kind of stuff. So maybe this person's feeling that way. I don't know why. I need to let you know, but just so you know, that's coming up. Then the powerful psychic insights, reflection, and meditation that provides valuable information. Be at peace. So trust yourself, Hannah. I think as well what happens is like I think sometimes we make a decision and then of course we're like, fuck, did I make the right decision? Is this the right way? Like, you know, sometimes we're making this, we don't know, we can't see what's going to happen, right? So the cards are very clear here. It's like you really got to start trusting yourself and trusting your intuition. You know what you're doing, you know where you're going. Be at peace with the decision that you have made. So be at peace with the choice that you have made. And again, just because you made a choice, it doesn't mean you're stuck into it unless of course you signed a yearly contract or something. And even then you can always get out of it eventually. It's more about just like, all right, I'm embracing this decision, I'm open to it, I'm going to be at peace while I go through it, because that's how you make the best choices. If you're freaking out and you're like insecure about the choices or you're questioning things, yeah, I'm seeing that. That's why I said it. I saw, and you're shut, and he feels like he's been shut out. So that's why I was saying it, because I was like, I have to say what I see, you know. So that's what I saw. So it makes sense. But let's go back there, and then we'll go back to the partner thing. So just be at peace with your choices, okay? Especially when it comes to career, I think maybe relationships are a little bit different with you because of, I know, your past trauma stuff. But with career stuff, like just trust yourself, you're ready. But be at peace with it. Move into it with the energy of security and peace. and owning your decision. Because if you walk in like tippy toeing, then it's hard to adjust, and it's also hard for the universe to bring everything to you with clarity. Again, if we're making decisions from a panicked place, from a fear place, from, oh my God, did I make the right choice? I don't know. It takes a while for the universe and for us to receive the reassurance. While as when you walk in with like, I'm confident in my decision, and I can always change my mind. Like for some reason we have this fear that we make a decision and we have to commit to this decision until the end as long as we suffer. It's like, no, if you walk into it, you see it, you're like, this is not for me, man. This is not. Nah, I'm good. Walk away. You can always change your mind. So what I did get with this is like, that's why I think this relationship thing came up, because this person, what I got is like, you see how she's got her back to him? He feels left out. He feels left behind. He feels like you're good, and for some reason he's not part of it or can't be a part of it somehow, or basically what I'm hearing is like, that's how he feels. He feels like you're just like, you're good, whatever. And he's like, but I'm here. I want you to love me. And you're like, yeah, but I got things going on, So for some reason that came up. Okay, so let's see what anything else comes up. I did get a feeling to get these cards for some reason. Kelly, yes, I'm just giving thank you. You just gave me donation. Got you. I got you in line, Kelly. So I'm just going to finish with Hannah, and then I got you, girl. Lol, it's kind of like that. So I don't know why they're telling me this. It's maybe because it's like, you don't have to shut him out. Maybe there's a different way that you can approach it. It's like, we shut it out because maybe we don't have the best tools of communication, especially because I know what you went through recently. So I feel like there's no need for that. I think he has the good intentions. I just think that you're obviously going through a lot. So maybe it's coming up. It's like, you can still tell him lovingly and gently and don't, maybe not so, harshly. Again, he's going to take it however he's going to take it. But, yeah, so let's see anyway. I feel like there's more to come out. So let's see. Munchkins. I just cleaned the cages today. I mean, half of the cages. It's like a long process. Okay. Anything else? Oh, there it is. Okay. Creative project came up. Your soul longs to express itself in a creative ways. We're guiding you to infuse artistry and creativity into your life. Creative expression makes you feel alive and excited, and reignites passion towards your life. And then you've also got play. So I don't know if it's connected to this job, or maybe you're afraid that this job is going to take away that creativity, that nature of it. Either way, what I'm getting is like they're giving you inspiration, your spiritual team. I feel like they also it's going to help you in a few ways. One, to help you heal through whatever you've been through as well. So like, I don't know if you do anything creative or whatever, but they're saying, don't be afraid to express yourself creatively. Make time for that. And if you fear like a job, I don't feel like this is going to take it away. I might be do with the music. Yeah. So I guess what they're encouraging you to do is just to maybe make more music right now, especially because you just went through what you went through. So art comes from the greatest pain and the greatest love, right? So that's essentially what's coming up. It's like, it's also very healing. It's very like uplifting. It helps you release the energy from your body, whatever is going on. So I don't know why this came up, but they just want you to know that they want you to do more music and possibly like do more creative stuff, because there's inner child healing here. And also I feel like your spiritual team is going to give you like more downloads around that. The broken shoulder, right? Well, again, there's other ways to do it. There's also one hand. I mean, I'm not like trying to like poop other people's pain and stuff, but like Mozart, I feel like he was deaf by the end of it and he still composed music, So there is like, don't allow these things to stop you from still being creative. You know, there's other ways to still do that, whether it's singing. And even though you can't sing, who cares? You know, like maybe you can write music right now in your head. I don't know if there's like a way, or a pen and paper. So I understand that the shoulder thing is in the way, but they still want you to creative. And maybe that's why there's the frustration in that. But there's always a way. My throat is so itchy. Okay, so do you have any more questions, Hannah? Because I feel like it was very like, I mean, it gave you the answer and it just told you what you needed to know about the guy. But essentially, it's like walking with that sense of peace and knowing that you know, be good with your decision. So if you want any more, now it's the time to ask, because I'm not quite sure how else I can direct you with this one. Okay, that was helpful. Perfect. As long as you're happy with it. All right, Kelly, it's your time now. So, do you have a specific question? I know, of course, we talked a little bit about like you wanting to find a purpose. So, I don't know if that's the question that you're looking for the answer towards, but feel free to ask any question right now. And I'm just going to disconnect to Hannah. Okay. I gotta sneeze. My cards want to come out. More grace, more grace. I got this song in my head right now. The forest fairies. Ooh, okay. So a couple of things. One of the things that I got is you got the star people. Okay, so the star people are very sensitive to energy, and they're also very, very, very intuitive, and they receive. You're a loss at the moment. Okay. They receive a lot of downloads. Okay, so Kelly, when this comes up, essentially, it's like oftentimes people also with like a lot of physical injuries, what ends up happening is that you spend a lot of time in stillness, right? Maybe sleeping, maybe in quiet, maybe watching TV. I don't know what your thing is, right? But essentially, like use this time essentially to receive guidance and information. So there's an opportunity to receive downloads at this time. Whenever I'm sick, which is not very often, but whenever I feel it, I'm like, I often sit there and I use this as an opportunity. For instance, with my lower back, I spent that entire time like talking to my back and trying to understand or study about it. Sometimes when I got fever, I was like, great, I'm going to be downloading stuff. So I'm just going to let myself go to sleep and trust that information or set that intention for myself. There are just so many ways that we can approach this in a little bit of a different, more positive point of view, even though it doesn't feel like it. So the star people are here to remind you of your innate ability to heal and access deep wisdom. That's the other thing I forgot. Star people are healers with their hands. You are highly sensitive to the energies around you, and this is a gift, not a burden. Trust in your higher mind, which is always connected to the greater cosmic intelligence. The answers you seek are already within you. You just need to listen. Tune into your intuition and allow your inner knowing to guide you. So you're lost because maybe you're not listening. Maybe you have gotten into a cycle as well where you're not really like, again, channeling your intention or focus. It's more like I'm channeling more in the focus that I'm lost and not that I actually might have the answers. Thank you, Trish. Got you down. So sometimes we trick ourselves into thinking that we don't. Oh, yes, the past 3 days home, I've been sick again. You believe that, how do I listen? Yes. So one of the things is like really being in stillness and just setting that intention. You know, it's like I have the answers and I'm giving myself permission to receive them. Sometimes it's all about just giving yourself permission, trusting that you know. But it's kind of like, and I'm not saying this because I hate using this word because I don't want people to feel like I'm putting them down or anything. But sometimes when we're in victim mode, it's very hard to receive anything because we're all focused on the lack, the impossible, the things that aren't there. I don't know what to do. And I listen, my mom does this a lot. I see her all the time. Whenever she has a problem, the first thing she does is just like, oh, well, what can I do about it? I'm like, a million fucking things. But there's no point in me telling her because she likes to be in the, well, I mean, what am I going to do? And you're like, something, so, and it's very frustrating for me because I'm like, it's over there. If you just move over there. But it's not even her fault either. I mean, it is and it isn't. It's because she just has gotten into conditioning herself to believing that she has no other option and that she's a victim and that she can't get out of it herself. Like she needs to be rescued or something needs to be happening from the outside. Luckily for me, I observed that and I said, I'm never going to be like that. But it's not necessarily a fault. This is conditioning, right? So Kelly, one of the things that you're going to look at is your conditioning mentally. We have to confront the shadows within us and ask ourselves, in what way is this serving me, right? Because as long as we're like, well, there's nothing I can do about it, guess what? Nothing changes. I am HSP. I'm not sure what that means, love. But again, there are situations, Kelly, where it's genuine and you genuinely are a victim, right? And there are genuinely situations where it's like, I genuinely don't know. But again, highly sensitive person. Gotcha. No, thank you, YR. Okay, so but the sensitivity again it's a fantastic thing. Yes, it can be a crutch, unfortunately, if you don't know how to shield yourself, if you don't know how to ground yourself, if you don't know how to do all the exercises and the works. By the way, I highly recommend, Kelly, I do have a course on Insight Timer on how to protect your energy from lower entities. It's actually one of my number one course on here. Highly recommend you do that because it can be used also with people and not just with like energies. Okay, so I highly recommend you do that course. It's on Insight Timer, so you can go and check it out. But the point that I'm trying to make is you got to break the cycle of your thinking and you have to be aware of the way that you've been thinking. Okay, so if you think that you cannot figure it out and that's your belief, then that's going to be your reality. So you got to begin to shift. What do you eat? Ah, I knew it. See, guinea pigs. They ate my cards. Yo, Iggy, that's very naughty. I love you though. Hi, baby. That's not food. Naughty boy. So, just ate my cards. This is why I also don't want them on the floor because I know they're gonna eat them. So it's starting to look at the parts I've been doing that I've wavered with my thoughts. Amazing. Okay, so you started. Now, what I'm getting here though is that you have healing abilities. Oftentimes the people end up with the very curse of the thing that they're supposed to break free from themselves. So I have a friend, for instance, who is suffering from chronic pain. She has fibromyalgia. I said the word. I was like, I can never say it. And she's been suffering for that for a long, long, long time. And she healed herself somehow. And now she's got frozen shoulder suddenly. And then she realizes like, this is like intense pain. But she realizes like, I am the best person to teach people how to heal their body because I am teaching myself how to heal. So there is a gift in it, even though it's so hard to see. Yeah, me too. Automotive issues. Oh, I'm sorry. Nerve pain, anything to do with nerve, it's like, that stuff, it's like the worst. I can't imagine what you're going through. So I understand I'm being harsh with you, Kelly, but also with a ton of love and compassion, but I'm here to help you step out of it. And I gotta be that like, that like fitness coach who's yelling at you, go mama, push up, and you're like, I can't, and you're like, mama, and you're like, fuck you, and I'm like, I don't care, just do it. That's what I'm here to inspire to, just to get you to like, because at the end of the day, the truth, like the situation is the situation, but we're looking for a solution, and it means you gotta push, even though it's so painful, even though it's so difficult, even though it looks like you're in the darkness. It's that push that gives you that breakthrough, and it has to get uncomfortable. It has to get painful, unfortunately. After that, you're gonna feel great. But here's the thing. So a couple of things, Kelly. I want you to try to do self-healing on your body. So one of the things that I do whenever I'm sick, I immediately, like I did with the cold and stuff, I went into a meditation. If I have any body stuff, I place my hands on that part of that body, and I visualize, I usually call my spiritual team or whatever, I visualize white light entering the top of my head, moving down my neck, going down my shoulders, and from the palm of my hands, this light enters my body and wraps itself around that body part. That to me is something that I've been doing with my body whenever I have any like aches or stuff, or I really focus on that body and I talk to that part of the body and say, what's going on? What are you trying to teach me? What do I need to know? What are you connected to? Are you connected to an emotion, to a trauma, to something that's going on currently? Like, I try to gather as much information. This is where you got to trust your intuition. This is where you got to trust the information that you receive in your mind. It might not always make sense, but just go with it. So the point here is that you're doing something, and even though it may not answer everything or it may not lead you to the full answer, you're doing something about it. So you're taking yourself suddenly out of victimhood. Does that make sense? And again, I don't want to put that label on you because I don't feel like you're that, but I'm just giving you an extreme example to make you understand, like, when we're a victim, we don't do anything about it, but when we're empowered, we start shifting. I believe that teaching me something, just need to release what feels like a block. Yeah. So the block oftentimes though reveals itself once you start doing the work. Oftentimes we think, oh, once I see the block, then I'll do something about it. But sometimes you just got to do something and then you'll look back, you're like, oh, that's what it was. So the point is just start doing something different. Whether it is, like I said, the exercise. I do a lot of like automatic writing, where I essentially like talk to the parts of my body. So if it was my lower back, what I did is like, to my lower back, please channel to me and through me anything that I need to know right now about what's going on or how to heal you. To my, if you have fibromyalgia, to my fibromyalgia, channel to me and through me how I can heal you or where you started. So you always have to ask the question to, and then what you're seeking from it. And then you spend 10 minutes writing without stopping. I think I have a video on my YouTube on automatic writing. I don't know if I have it on there, but look it up. It's a good one. The other card that you got is Forest Fairies. So forest fairies remind you to stay true to your nature and walk your own path, even when it feels easier to follow the crowd. You are meant to live authentically, not fit into expectations that don't align with your soul. Follow what fills your heart and fuels your purpose. At the same time, be mindful of self-sabotaging behaviors that may be holding you back. Trust yourself, embrace your uniqueness, and allow your spirit to flourish freely. So something about also just like, again, honoring yourself, being true to yourself, watching out for self-sabotaging behaviors, of course, and embracing your uniqueness. So like being okay with doing things a little bit offbeat, because sometimes that's what it requires, right? For us to figure things out. It's like, oh, but this is what everybody else has done. You're like, yeah, but I'm going to try this thing that's totally whack and weird and whatever. But sometimes it works, and then when you do it, you realize that another 20 people have done it too, and you're like, okay, it's not so weird. But from your group of people, or maybe what you grow up knowing, it could be weird. Who knows? And then you got mystical witches. So this is an interesting one. You got the mystical witches are here to invite you to create a ritual that will empower you and support your manifestation. Whether it is an actual spell, a prayer, or an affirmation, or any other practice, create something that helps the universe respond to your wishes. This ritual will strengthen your connection and align with your desires. So it's pretty much what I was just telling you. So there's options that you can do. Like I said, one, even just putting your hands and channeling that light into the body, that's a ritual. For me, because all my issues were mostly mental, I created rituals such as meditation and affirmations, and I did that for years, and I still do that to this day, because it's a ritual that I have to maintain to keep my mental health to be at its peak. But those rituals worked for me, and they healed me, and they transformed my life. So for you, what I'm hearing is that you got to figure out a ritual that works for you, for your body. So when you are in pain, instead of like, which of course it's normal because you're in pain and you want to just like crawl into the bed and just die, but what else can you do in that moment to help yourself through it? So could it be setting an intention and visualizing the white light? Could it be, when I used to have panic attacks, because I had a panic disorder, one of the things that I realized is like, if I didn't do anything, I was just in the panic. I was just like freaking out. I was dying. My soul shot out of my body. I wasn't here. I was tripping balls. So what I would do, I realized, I was like, how can I help myself? How can I help myself? And I realized, okay, I feel like my soul shot out of my body, but you got to listen to your body and understand what's going on. And so I was like, okay, how can I bring my soul back in? So I got to ground. And so what I would do anytime that I would stop flipping out, I would focus only on the soles of my feet. And for some reason, when I would just, all of my attention, everything, nothing mattered. All I would do is just like feel the soles of my feet, and that's all I would do. It almost like brought my soul back into my body, and it calmed my system down, and it lowered my frequency. And then I used that time and time again. And then after that, it helped me so much. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about, the rituals that you got to figure out for yourself, because when we're in pain, it's normal to just default back to what we know and just be, oh, now I can't do anything about it. And now I'm a victim to this horrible thing, which you are, but then you could claim your power back. And so how can you do that? Wow, that is so dead on. I do think I compare myself too much. I am still fairly new to all of this, learning so much. Oh, amazing, Kelly. I'm so glad. So it's a lot of information, so I don't want you to be overloaded, because I could go on for days, and everybody who follows me know I can yap for hours. I do yap for hours. But just take what you've learned today and actually implement it, okay? Just try different things. If it doesn't work, sometimes certain practices don't happen overnight. You have to understand it is a ritual, which means it is a daily practice. It is something that you have to give it an actual time frame for it to really show you anything. Many of us go into the spiritual stuff. Oh, I didn't change my life while I gave up on it. It's like, well, how many years did it take to destroy it? A long time, right? So you got to give it time. Give it a month. If within a month you don't see any improvement, move on to something else. But for me, it's like I made a choice. I knew meditation made sense and affirmations made sense for me. It's just like, it just makes sense. I'm mentally messed up. My thoughts are terrible, and I'm mentally ill. So hello. I knew I was mentally ill. So I was like, I got to do something here. And I was like, what is the best mental practices? Meditation and affirmations. And those practices changed over time, but the actual practice itself never changed. So I still meditate every day, and I still do affirmations almost every day. There's a reason why I maintain it, because it really does work, but I did it for years before I started seeing true results. But I knew something was changing. So this is for you as well. Whatever it is, try to find it, okay? And just commit to the healing. Commit to the practice. The practice will lead you to answers. Okay? All right, Kelly. So I'm going to leave you with that, because I feel like it's a lot. So hopefully come back whenever you can and let me know of any improvements. I always love to hear back from you guys as well. If anything did help, take some time, ask yourself what you need, figure it out. You got this, okay? Just trust yourself and change the dialogue. I don't know, I am lost, to I am going to figure this out. I know I can figure this out. I am capable to figure this out. Aw, thank you. Yes, you are. You definitely meant to do great things. And watch that documentary, Kelly. Trust me, it will inspire you. It will really, really inspire you. It's a heart-wrenching documentary. It's so beautiful. I love it. I love it, but it was sad. And I showed my friends, and they were like, as well. They were like, oh my God, Anyway. Trish, good to see you, man. How you doing? What's going on? I'm just going to disconnect. What's happening? What's going on? So, what's up? You got a question? What's going on? Any updates on I remember you were going through some kind of job change, I think, if I remember correctly. Are you wanting to possibly change job, if I remember? And by the way, I'm just going to get Peanut, guys. Just give me 1 second. I think he wants to come and say hi. Hi, piggies. Peanut. Come. Come and say hi. It's Peanut! Look who's there. It's your friends. I love you too, baby. Okay. He's my baby boy. He's coming tomorrow on an acting job with me again. Aren't you? You're gonna do some acting with mommy. Yeah, you're such a good actor. So Trish, what's your question, my love? You just want to know what's the next month? Okay, let's see what comes up. Yeah, Peanut is famous in Australia for doing a commercial for Paw Lab. And they hired us again because you were so good, weren't you? You were such a good actor. Also, he loves it because he just gets to spend time with me. And he loves it when I just give him attention. Yeah. I'm going to say hi. He's not camera shy. That's for sure. Keats is. My other dog is. Okay, you going to stay? Peanut? I'm going to stay, okay? Good job. All right, so let's find out, Trish. And Kirsty, thank you so much. I got your donation, got you in. Yeah, I'm excited because I actually love this product that I'm promoting. Unfortunately, they only sell it in Australia, ironically. It's called Paw Lab, so it's for like urine stains and stuff from dogs, and it's incredible. Like, it's cruelty free, it's vegan, and it smells insanely good. So when you spray it on the carpet and it kills like the enzymes and like the crystals of the urine and whatever, like it really does work. I know it's called Paw Lab. If you can find it, I tried to look for it here, but I couldn't find it. But it's an Australian product. I'm telling you guys, the guy gave me the bottle, and unfortunately, of course, I'm out of it because sometimes these guys make a little accident. It is so good. It smells incredible, and it does not like it smells so good. I was like, why haven't we come up with anything here? But it really works, and so they stopped going back to the same spot. Are you showing off, Peanut? You're showing off. Do you want a kiss? Are you showing off on how cute you are? See, this is why they hire you, because you're adorable. Yeah. But you're also a little demon sometimes. You got the Chihuahua power. You know anything about Chihuahuas? They have a little demon within them that comes out every so often. He thinks he owns the space. Ooh. Nerves about change, girl. Trish. Like people. Okay. 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 I don't know if this was there, so we're just going to go with this one because I felt... Yes, Peanut, I got you, sweetie. You don't need to be like that. I know. You're being too cute now. You go to bed. Come on, we'll do it. Okay. You stay here. You go to bed. Okay. He's like a baby. All right, basta. Down. No. Don't show off now. This is not the time. Okay. I know. Okay, so sorry, we get distracted once Peanut arrives because he's so cute. Nervous about change, Trish. So there's some nerves going on. There's some waiting. You're slowly filling your cup as well. So there's like filling the cup. So cup often represents like emotions, fulfilling emotions, but there's a nervousness about this change. Okay, there's some kind of, and also you got, it's reflection. Okay, so reflection, right? So let me see what is like really something. It's almost like, I think you've made a decision. I don't know if you actually made the actual change. I think you're at the point either you've made the decision internally, like committed to the decision, it hasn't followed through physically, or no, don't even think about it. You're in here, but you can't kill anything. So there is just like I'm feeling like hot energy. It's just like you have these moments of anxiety probably and like questioning still, which is normal. So in the next month, essentially what I'm hearing here is like, I don't know if you've, again, I don't know if you made the decision or not, but I feel like there is a part of you that is partly fulfilling yourself emotionally by making these decisions, by making these changes, by committing to certain things. But there's also another part of you, which is naturally, of course, like, oh my God, like, the fear, the insecurity. So I'm not quite sure what that means to you. But what I'm hearing here, it's basically like, don't stress yourself out. It's okay. It's normal, to have this back and forth. But deep down, what I am hearing here, though, at the end of the day, is that you are filling your cup for once. So you are actually trying to like fulfill your energy, as opposed to your energy being taken for a change. Now, I don't know if there's a celebration or a birthday coming up, but there's some kind of a celebration in the next month as well. So that's a good thing. So could be also just the celebration, wisdom of experience. So it's like, could it also be the celebration of making this decision? I also feel like your spiritual team are celebrating whatever it is that you've made, but there's some kind of celebration coming up in the next month. Celebrating you, celebrating somebody else, but ultimately I feel like it's a celebration of you. So we're going to use another card deck, because I am getting, but I feel like it's very vague, and I want a little bit more specific. A little bit more specific and confirmation on what we're asking. Okay, this one. I felt, it's so funny, I was putting my hands on two cards, and then I felt like the heat just like literally transferred to one hand. Which card do you think I should get, Peanut? And to show everybody how cute you are. I love you. Are you excited about tomorrow? He loves the camera. You love being on camera. No fighting. There we go. New beginnings. Okay. So, that one flipped out. Okay, again, there's this change decision again that I feel there's a new beginning for you, Trish. So it's like, this is a major arcana as well. So it's like big changes are coming. Starting a new life, finding your purpose, a forgiving and compassionate review of the past. And then nurturing yourself and those you love, the ability to make anything more beautiful, practical and wise advice. Okay. And then follow your passion. You are ready for any challenge, opportunities for excitement and adventure. So again, I'm not quite sure. I think that's the nervousness about the change. I think even if it hasn't happened yet or whatever, like I feel like, yes, moving forward with some passion project, and sent you a question. Send me a question? Where did you send the question? Let's see. Did I miss it? I need to give Peanut like a tarot hat. Oh yeah, nothing has changed. So what's the question again? Via Insight Timer last week, but no worries. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Did I get it? So funny, I don't feel like I received it. Was it on an online course? It's good to know, because I don't know how to receive messages unless it's like on, I don't have it here. Unless it's on a course or like a donation thing. I don't know how else to receive it. So thank you for letting me know though. I'm gonna try and find it. Huh. Yeah, it's funny. I don't get messages about that. So I'm going to double check that. But thank you for letting me know, because I don't know. But if you want to ask the question again, if you feel comfortable enough, feel free to ask here again. Because if I haven't replied, it's because I haven't seen it, because I'm always like on those things. But the point is that I'm seeing is, okay. Okay, we can connect later. No problem whatsoever. Yeah, definitely. Well, the point is though that I do see changes happening. Okay, so in the next month, some kind of a change is going to happen. Some kind of a new renewal, starting something new, finding your purpose, and and a forgiving comparison and review of your past. So there's something that it's almost like maybe something from your past is going to come to the surface. Oh, you were spot on. Thank you. Amazing. Because I feel like there has to be some kind of letting go of the past in order to move forward. This actually came up in the group reading before. So it's like the change of things, whether it's forgiving your past self, forgiving people who have stopped you from making the right choices in the past and you've just listened to them. Whatever it is, there's like a little bit of that going to come up. So maybe some resentment or some anger towards that. And then just being able to sort of like, all right, I'm going to let that go because this is not serving me anymore. But more wealth and abundance and beautiful things are coming into your life. So again, wealth specifically is money, but like abundance doesn't have to be money. Abundance can also just be like feelings. It could be health, it could be joy, it could be all sorts of things. So I do see that coming in, and they're continuing to tell you to follow your passion. You're activating some kind of light within you. You're actually like, it's almost like this light has been dead for a while within you, which is probably why you've had this desire coming up. And it's almost like this light is just finally starting to activate. It's starting to finally like shine. It's starting to finally like come to the surface. You are ready for this new challenge, opportunities for excitement and adventure. Okay, so whatever this decision, this change that you've been making within you, it's opening up doors and opportunities for you. It is going to bring in new people, places, and things that can lead you towards something else. And again, sometimes that nervous energy could just be that, is that we know we activated something and maybe we don't know where or how it's going to show up. But the point is that even just knowing that that is a possibility, it can create a little bit of that like, ooh, what if, you know? So I feel like Peanut is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Wow, that's exciting to hear confirmation. Yes. So whether it is this new passion project that you said that you started, it's definitely like, the point is that it's changing your frequency, because you're changing your your daily routine, your your regular frequency, which is creating the same cycle over and over again. You're kind of somewhat breaking free from that by activating this new frequency, by activating new light. That's why I always say, like, expressing yourself, Hannah, even creatively, what I was mentioning before. What that does is essentially it takes you out of a stagnant frequency. When you're being creative, you're going into a flow state, and essentially you're shifting your everything that you do all day, every day, into something else. And so that can attract in something new, that can create a new path, that can shift a way of thinking of something. So it's very important, especially when you're looking for change or for transformation. Stop being a baby. I'm here. Yeah, I know. So you're doing that in a way, Trish. And I think that's also like, it could be excitement and nervousness or whatever, but there's something coming up that is going to come within that. So in the next month, essentially, that's what's coming to the surface. But I do see big change. I see some kind of a breakthrough happening either way, which is awesome. But I understand that that comes with like, that resentment, or that like, fuck, if only I did this before, or they did me wrong, or, you know, whatever the story that can be. But that light's very important. Okay, that light is like leading you towards something new, which is I feel like deep down what you're ready for. Do you know what I mean? Are you ready for it, Peanut? Love you. Okay. Yeah, it's exciting, you know. He is such a vibe. He's a big personality. Chihuahua. I fell in love with Chihuahuas after I got this guy. They're so intense. Um. Okay. So does that make sense, Trish? Is there anything else that you feel like you need help with or guidance with? What about Peanut? Do you want to do everything, Peanut? What a good boy, aren't you? Are you excited for tomorrow? You're gonna be an actor tomorrow. So small but mighty. Yes, they're tiny but mighty. Oh, you're so welcome, Trish. Best of luck. And I'm going to double check. If I don't see it, do me a favor. You can always contact me through my email, through my business. It is linked to Insight Timer, so you can find my website, and then you can just send me an email that way if I missed it. because for some reason I didn't see it. So I'm maybe don't know how. Because I don't think, I mean, I'm probably going to go there and I'm going to find like a million messages, but just so you know, if I missed it, that's how you can also reach out to me. And if I don't answer, it's because I genuinely didn't see it, because I always answer. So FYI. All right, Kirsty, how you doing? Kirsty! Yay. Yay. Bubush. Yeah, I love you. Would love just a general reading, anything my spirit guides want me to know over the next month. Okay, so let me just disconnect with Trish. High five. Okay. Oh, I'm feeling that one. Okay, Peanut, you gotta stay there. Ooh. Okay. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. A guardian angel. Very cool. News of an exciting new adventure. Use your originality and ingenuity. Wow, I can't read apparently. And then you got the dreamer. A leap of faith, follow your dreams, unexpected opportunities. Okay, so you got 3 opportunities coming up, obviously. Yes, Peanut. So, Kirsty, what I'm seeing is that something in the next month is going to show up. Like, first and foremost, you got to get going, okay? So whatever it is, that thought is like, even if it's just silly things, like I always keep thinking, it's like, oh, I got to clean the house, I got to get this done. And I always delay. And then when I finally do it, I was like, oh, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as long as I was going to think it was going to take. So what I'm hearing here, it's like sometimes you just got to just get it done and stop overthinking it. Stop trying to make it perfect. Stop trying to have the perfect vision of how it's going to come. Essentially, what I'm hearing here is like you got to start doing the actions of it. Again, it could be even just simple things like meditation. I don't know what it is that you're trying to get to here. But it could be a job, it could be anything, right? I mean, you know what that is, you know what your intention is, to honor your commitments and guardian angels. So I feel like also like you got, like, I think you asked about your guides and stuff, because I think you also feel their presence and they've been also guiding you through this. They're like, girl, you got to do it, or change it, or make that call, or make that leap, or say no to this thing, like whatever it is, that they're behind you trying to help you. So the only way that you're going to know if it's really them or not is if you honor yourself through it. Sorry guys, it's the itchy nose has started. Maybe this is because you're peanut. Yeah. So if you want proof of the spiritual team, then you also got to follow through when you get those inspirations. Like, you got to just trust the guidance that you get and just do it. Then you'll know if it actually was in alignment or not. News of exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. So I feel like, again, something new is coming in, whether it is a project, a job, an idea, the beginning of something, right? So use your originality and ingenuity, and it'll feel like it also comes up with like honoring your commitments. So there's a link here, right? It's about honoring yourself, honoring your feelings, honoring your vision, whatever it is. Really resonates. Have been really connecting with my guides lately and have been talking to the steps lately to help financial things grow. Amazing. I love that. By the way, guys, I will have this course out hopefully in the next month. It takes a while for Insight Timer to approve, but I'm halfway through recording it. So go and check it out. I'm really doing this for myself. It's just like level 1 of financial stuff, but it always helps. I'm thinking I eventually might do level 2 of it to just go deeper. What? So Outgoing, creative, confident, and it might, like you said, like you're trying to do financial stuff, you might be getting an idea, right? Or you might get some kind of inspiration. So what they're saying is, like, again, if we're given to give you this information, you have to follow through with it. You can't just let it be in the fluff world, right? Again, it does take commitment, though. It does take like adaptability. I always say with manifestation, remember the 3 steps. The first is you get the idea, your spiritual team is like, hey, go left, you go left, right? Then they help you out a little bit along the way to give you that motivation, that push. Then there has to be some level of sacrifice. You want to build a business, your time, your money, whatever it is, you're going to have to sacrifice something, okay? Maybe going out, whatever it is. I don't know what your thing is. The third one then is the final, is the trust, trusting the process and fulfilling it regardless of what's in the way or what's blocking you. And then again, this makes sense with the last card. You got the dreamer, which is the fool's card, right? So the leap of faith, following your dreams, unexpected opportunities. So it's like at the end of the day, what I'm hearing is, if you get this guidance, it's very clear. It's very simple. The message that is coming up for you. It's like getting the inspiration, following through with it, and just having that leap of faith and just trying it. And just moving forward with it, overcoming the challenges and the obstacles along the way. But essentially it's like, yeah, like it's a leap of faith. It's like, I don't know if this is going to work out or not. I don't have any reassurance. I don't know for sure what's going to happen, or what, that's the thing that we as humans really want and need when we do these things. But it's not, then it's boring. Like, let's be real. If you already knew what was going to happen, you're like, oh, well, that's exciting. Not really. So trusting the guidance that you're receiving. And how do you know it's your guides? Because it will work out. If it doesn't work out, then it's most likely your ego or just you thinking something and misinterpreting the information. And that's really how you guys build also like a lot of intuition. It's like when my intuition is strong about something, I'm more and more learning now to listen to it. But I also know the difference, because I've learned the difference between my ego and my intuition. How? I've done a lot of mistakes. But I'm thinking it's my intuition and it just turned out to be my ego, and I just failed flat on my face. I'm like, well, that wasn't it. And then how I know it's my intuition is because I followed through. But it was like, that actually worked out and was exactly what I expected or what I needed. Obviously, then that's my intuition, showing me the way to go. You're just a doofus.
Doofus.
I love you. I love you more than anything in the whole wide world, Peanut. These guys fight a lot. Okay, so I love all of that. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome, Kirsty. Yes, so you got this, man. You got this. All right, so I feel like I've gotten through everyone. Does anybody else have any more questions before we wrap up? I do want to clean out my closet, speaking of which. I did say I was going to do that today, and I have to finish recording this. the course. So that's my goal today. But if anybody has any more questions, even just about spirituality, about healing, about anything at all, feel free to ask. I'm always happy to have a little chat about that. Before we close out, anything at all, anything about Peanut? Peanut has a lot to say. Don't you? Where you're bossy boots and you're mean to your brother. That's one thing, it's for sure. You bite your brother sometimes. Yeah, so I booked this commercial. So Peanut was in the original commercial because it was about yeah, he's in it. So it's like a Facebook commercial, one of those like silly ads. So he's gonna come with me tomorrow again, which is gonna be so much fun. I love taking Peanut to the set. He's done 2 commercials with me now. It'll be great. I've actually got my friend Kit, who's gonna be in the commercial. I got him the job as well. Yeah, Peanut is famous. Look at that. How could you not be? He's literally sleeping right now. He's pretending to sleep. He also likes to suffocate me. Like, one of these things that he likes to do is like shove himself on my face, and he literally likes to suffocate me. Yeah, no, he's been in a couple of commercials now. Haven't you? Really cute, because he's easy, because he likes to just be on my lap, My other dog, he's amazing, but he bites, so I can't take him on set. I can't trust him that he will not bite somebody. So that would not be good. I mean, if people respect my rules, if I tell him not to pet him, he won't bite anybody. But most people are like, I'm special. And then he'll bite them. So I've had actually a guy literally do that in front of me. I took him to the park and I said, can you please, I usually like, if there's people, I was like, I'll tell him, I was like, look, he's not aggressive. He won't bother you, but just please do not pet him. And the guy's, oh, but dogs love me. And I'm like, I'm sure they do. It's not the point. He has trauma. And so as soon as he sees a hand, he takes it as you trying to hit him. So just don't. It's like, oh, no, it's fine. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, he'll bite you, you know. And the guy just would not listen to me. So I had to leave with him because I was like, I'm not getting sued over like some idiot thinking that he's like dog Jesus. Wouldn't be a dog life experience if there wasn't a bite involved. Lol, yeah. Yeah, he the reason why I rescued Keats is because he literally bit everybody. So anybody who tried to adopt anyone who tried to adopt him, he bit. Except for me and my husband. But even if he bit me, I would have still adopted him. I'm okay with animals that are difficult. Although most of my animals tend to be, you know, I don't know, Peanut is a little special, but so he obviously, they don't know his history. They found him on the streets. He was abandoned on the streets, and he has an issue with hands, which obviously means he got slapped, he got beat. And terriers, he's a terrier, they don't forget. Like he will remember people that he hasn't seen in years. If somebody comes in, like he remembers them. He immediately trusts them. But there's a process to introduce him to people so that he doesn't bite them. Once he trusts them, it's fine. But it's that introduction, the first introduction, that is always like, can I trust you or not? So yeah. So if he doesn't know you and you just go down to pet him, he most likely, I mean, now he's a lot better with it. But like Carl's cousin challenged him from the beginning. He was being totally mean to him. Um, and he never forgot. And so when he finally allowed him to pet him, but he would like stare at him and look down, like he was teasing him. I was like, Cody, you're not helping here. He's not gonna forget this. He's never gonna trust you. Doesn't listen to me. And then of course the last time he was here, he wasn't paying attention to his body language and he bit him. And I was like, I told you. I was like, you did not build that trust with him. You challenged him, and now he's never trusted you even after. I was like, you got to listen to me, you know? So anyway, it's all good. But I might be taking in I'm hoping to take in, it's about, I think there's 36 mice right now that got dumped at the shelter. Um, so I'm hoping that I can put them, the males and the females, in a group in two of the cages and move two of the hamsters because they have big cages. Um, yeah, it's a big problem. People dump a ton of them, and of course they get euthanized if they don't get rescued. So I'm doing what I can, but I just need more land. Really, it's a big issue with us. It's like we don't have enough space, so we'll get there. What we Peanut? If you keep getting all these commercials, maybe we can buy a new house. What you think? He's literally sleeping. This is how he sleeps. Anyway, all right, guys. So, any more questions about anything else? Elephants are usually like that. They really remember stuff. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I see these guys as like complete sentient beings, like humans. You know, any animal. I tend to see. I just rescued like a freaking bee the other day. As I was going to the gym, I saw the bee on the floor. So what I do sometimes is I pick them up and I give them not honey because I don't have honey because I'm vegan, but I give them agave or something just to give them like something to get their energy back, and then they often fly away. So I can't help myself. It's just like I have to help. Yeah. Are you ready to say bye bye to everyone? We're gonna tell them how good you won the commercial, okay? Yeah. I'm an animal whisperer. Maybe. I just love animals. I love them so much. So much. Don't I, Peanut? Yeah. You guys have got to stop fighting. All right. Well, I love you guys. Thank you so much for showing up today, for hanging out. I'll be back probably next week on Wednesday, unless I've got a job going on or something, but keep an eye out. Again, if I don't see your messages, make sure to email me. Nakisha, so good to see you again, by the way. Thank you so much, love, for showing up again. And as always, guys, have a magical day, and I will talk to you soon. And keep out for those courses. Bye bye. Bye bye. No, don't. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye. Yeah. Okay. Love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.